No.
He's
That just means I definitely have to be home by Wednesday. See what I mean? Hey!
Fucking pull a trailer, fucker!
Go! Let him buy it. Go!
The fuck is wrong with you?
That's why you have a camera. That's on camera. So I'm heading south with my brother through Portland, Oregon. We're doing the speed limit, and traffic is touch and go this time of day. And we're following this truck with the legal distance, which is about 2 to 2.5 car lengths. 2 car lengths is the law. If you look at his shadow and you watch as he passes one of these street lights here, is 1, 2. So about 2,000 about 2 seconds. When this guy here lane changes right here. Now you can't really tell it because the camera distorts the angle, but so that you get a wider angle picture. But at that point, when this guy lane changes in front of us here, he is literally half a car length from that truck, and he's a full car length here, and there's only half a car length between us and him, and there's no stopping room. It took 3 sets of brakes to stop this truck. It took the truck brakes, the trike brake, and the trailer brakes in order for us to completely come to us to slow down enough. And we still, in order to avoid hitting him, had to go beside him because he brake checked us at this point. Take a look here. He comes through here. That truck is stopping, and now he locks up his brakes. What he did is he was talking on his cell phone up here, and as we're coming up here, traffic starts to slow. My brother kind of eases off the gas to kind of give us a little bit more distance between this truck in case we have to come to a stop. This guy's on his cell phone, and now he decides to lane change from a slower moving lane of traffic right in front of us, thus completely and utterly removing our stopping distance. We had, like I said, had less than a half, or well, I'd say just about a half a car length in order to stop from hitting that guy. And he acknowledged that he cut us off. I mean, he's like, had his hands up, hey, I'm sorry, and as I'm waving him by, go before somebody hits you, go on, get on the road. My brother's pissed because we're towing livestock, and that guy nearly caused a serious accident. And my brother has about $10,000 worth of livestock in the stock trailer when this guy goes and does that. So again, we're following about this, about two car lengths behind this truck here. And this guy here, in order to avoid stopping or slowing in his own lane, which was already moving slower than our lane, decides to lane change into our lane as this truck starts to stop. Now let's take a look at that video real quick here. As we get up here, you can see the traffic's moving along quite nicely. We're doing the speed limit, so it's about 55 miles an hour down through here. And we're definitely doing 55. Now this traffic here, this lane here starts to slow down. Now they're down to about 45 miles an hour when this car whips in front of us. And as he whips in front of us here, watch this truck's brake lights. And watch that van's brake lights. No brake lights there. All of a sudden, brake lights here. Now there's just a tap of a brake light in that one there. So he did what he did here to avoid slowing in his own lane of traffic. He decides to cut us off into a stopped vehicle. Now, as he's lane changing, again, he would have, if he had not been distracted and had been paying attention instead of yakking on his cell phone. You can see him toss his cell phone here. I don't know if you can see it in the video, but I saw it when we were following him. And he tossed his cell phone when my brother started wailing on the horn here. And see that again here. Now watch the brake lights of the truck come on. Still no brake lights, just a tail light, just a tap on that van there. But we're definitely coming to a stop in this lane of traffic. Now, as we start to stop, this guy panicked. Oh shit, the truck's stopping. We're on our horn. Then he lets off his brakes, and then he slams on his brakes again to, deliberately brake check us. And then he realizes that, oh shit, this guy had a camera. And he looked right up at me and right past me and saw it at this point, right here. He's like, oh shit. And then that's when he put up his hands. It's like, I'm sorry. And then he decides to go ahead and lane change. We had to let him back in. I told my brother to let him back in because my brother was trying to get back into traffic. And this guy kept swerving into the other lane, back into this lane, into that other lane. Finally, it's just like I put my arm out the window. It's just, go on, and then he just zooms by us. But yeah, that guy nearly caused a serious accident, and down on 205 here on Monday. And if it wasn't for my brother's skill at driving and superior brakes on this truck and the trailer, man, that could have gone south in a hurry. Now, when we got to where we were going at, there was a county cop down there just watching the proceedings and stuff, and I walked up to him with my camera and I showed him this, and I asked him, I said, who would have been at fault if this would have caused an accident? He said, unquestionably, without a doubt, the guy in the Cadillac. What he did, and he pointed it out, he said he's talking on his phone, so he's a distracted driver, and he made an illegal lane change here. Even though he signaled, he made an illegal lane change because he moved from a slower lane of traffic into a faster lane of traffic in the middle of traffic. In other words, he cut us off. And he said if he had seen that, he would have pulled that driver over and cited that driver for reckless driving. Which, and had he caused an accident, at first he said, without this camera, you would have been at fault because you wouldn't have been able to prove what he did. With this camera, you can clearly see it, and he points this out. And he says, what he does here, and then he lays off, and then he does it again like that when you're laying on the horn, that's called brake checking. And that is also illegal. So, because you watch the front of his car dip down. And this, again, is all because he's a distracted driver. Had he not been yakking on his cell phone, had he not been, trying to, first and foremost, had he not been yakking on his cell phone, he would have realized that it was just traffic slowing down, and he wouldn't have just hit his turn signal and whipped into our lane. And I would say that this qualifies as a gradual whip into our lane. But again, he cut in front of us and completely took away our stopping distance and nearly caused an accident. And like I said, when I showed it to that county, Cowlitz County, not Cowlitz, but Multnomah County, I think it was Multnomah County, deputy sheriff, he looked at that and he says, yeah, he would have been at fault for that accident. So I was like, yeah, thank God we had a camera then. So anyway, safe driving, everybody, and if you can afford it, definitely get one of these dash cams. They'll save your bacon. Seriously, they're well worth the cash if they save you from taking the blame for an accident. It's not your fault. Anyways, thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye bye.